All right. Hi, everybody. It's 7 o'clock, Thursday, August 28th. We're Nerds on the Couch. And we have all our members here. Kelly will join us when she can. She's having technical difficulties here. Jumping on a little bit of, well, let's just get to the news thing. First thing off the bat, Joaquin Phoenix is confirmed to be in final talks to be Doctor Strange. I'm okay with this.
Next, yeah, so am I. Next to Johnny Depp, Joaquin Phoenix is the kind of person that, can go ahead and pull it off.
Yeah, well, he's gonna have to bring in a certain kind of creepiness and kind of like do something that's gonna be very spiritual in a way, but I think he can do it.
Dude,
he's gonna be the man in black who uses magic now.
Well, that's the thing. I look at this guy's past movies and all that, and he is a varied actor. Yeah, he did that thing where he played himself going nuts and all that, which was dumb. But, the Johnny Cash movie was great. I liked her.
Of course you like it. So do I.
Uh-huh. And then, this guy's done so many roles that he can play anything and he'll be cool.
As long as he doesn't play the character he played in Gladiator. I'm glad they killed him.
yeah.
Although when I say that, remember, that's giving strength to him as an actor. I couldn't stand that character he played. Okay, good job, Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, the other thing too is like, this guy has been up for rumors for so many roles. So there was a big rumor that he was going to be Lex Luthor. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And then now there was rumors he's going to be the Joker, but I guess not if he's going to be Doctor Strange.
Yeah, because it'd be conflict of interest now. I mean, going from Marvel to DC, no, it's not going to happen.
Well, you know what? This kind of reminds me of Josh Brolin. I mean, we had rumors that Josh Brolin was going to be Batman, and he bowed out. Now he's going to be Thanos. It kind of trips me out.
Well, he technically didn't bow out. He said that he auditioned for it, but they went with Ben Affleck.
No, I heard that. The way I understood it is they were going to offer him the role. He didn't want to take it, and they went with Ben Affleck. I also heard before him they were also thinking of that guy Ryan Gosling, and yeah, I guess Ben Affleck besides Ryan Gosling was good. I guess we'll see.
Well, either which way, I mean, we knew Doctor Strange was coming.
Yeah.
That was one movie that we know was coming, and I have a feeling that once they name an actor, it's going to go on the fast track. They already mentioned him in Captain America.
This is true. And I mean, once everything starts going through, it's going to go one part, 2 parts. Okay, we got the script. We got everything else. We have the pooper scoopers. We got everything going. Everything's going to come in, and you know what? We're going to be just whirlwind, and then all of a sudden, next year, Doctor Strange.
That's kind of what I like about Ant-Man. We finally got that off the ground. They're finally working on it. We know they started finally.
Well, that's the so far on Marvel news. On DC news coming in, Rila Fukushima is replacing Devon Aoki as Katana on Arrow. Now, again, if you haven't, Rila Fukushima, you know her. She was the sword fighting girl in The Wolverine. Yeah. And I got to quote Jason Rodriguez as a post of the week on this.
Yes.
I'm okay with this. I agree with you on that, And that's why you get post of the week for that. Anybody have a problem with that?
All I have to say is that she doesn't exactly, you know what? I look at her and I'm like, what's with her face? There's something there. I mean, what happened to the top? I mean, it's just like when someone went, sorry. It just kind of trips me out. Her face kind of trips me out. I'm sorry.
Well, if the question is, does she look Japanese? Yeah, she looks Japanese. I mean, that's all you really need, you know. Katana is a Japanese character, so it works. And you know,
Yeah,
she can
but
swing a
I
sword.
mean,
Give her that. She can swing a sword, and that's
well,
it's
you can look
realistic.
You've seen some of those other Japanese women with the buck teeth and all that. I mean, it's more
Hold
than
on.
just.
Be
That's
careful
right.
with what you
That's
say.
right. Alien.
Angry letters, please send them to
No.
David.
I mean, just any Japanese person. You're saying any Japanese person, any Japanese girl would have been able to play katana?
Send the mail to him, okay, David. All right? Send your ninjas to David.
Well, you're the one that's saying that they all look alike.
No, David, I think it
No,
was you.
that's not what he said. That's not what he
Send
said.
the mail to David. That's all I gotta say.
He's just saying that as long as they look Japanese and they can play swing a sword, then yeah, she can be she. Or no, I'm sorry, katana. I don't know why.
Well, first of all, I mean, she is a good actress. You know, I liked her in the Wolverine, and you know, yeah, she can swing a sword, which is basically what Katana's about.
Yeah.
I mean, who else would we picture here?
I'd say she's a good choice.
We
Oh,
should
this
put
blue-
Lucy Liu. Hey, I don't think you could get her, and she's doing elementary, dude. I don't know if she'll want to do this.
Oh, I don't want to say just any Asian cute actress would do it, but you know, oh god, we're in trouble. We're gonna get sued. Anyway,
Soon if we're lucky, we're have ninjas coming after us. That's what I'm worried about.
oh dude,
it'd be just like that screen from Ninja Scroll. All the ninjas just jumping them from rooftop to rooftop, tick, 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 and then we have Jubei just cutting them all down and lots of blood everywhere.
David, I hate to tell you, but there's like 10 ninjas in your room right now.
You know what? That doesn't bother me. What I'm worried about is there's going to be a samurai standing there. You have offended her hunter. No, I didn't. That's David. Oh, you know,
I didn't say they all look like alike. You were the one insinuating that.
you never said that.
Yeah.
Okay, this whole conversation is just decayed.
Well, first let us state that we appreciate and love the Asian culture. I'm a fan of
I
their
didn't
food.
say I didn't.
I like sushi.
Okay. Moving on before we get sued. Doctor Who returned this week. Thank the Lord Almighty, we got Doctor Who back. I needed my fix. Man, I needed my fix. I have my TARDIS somewhere around here. Oh, well. Can never find it when you need it. Anyway,
Yeah, well, that's how it is. I mean, it disappears, and then he'll come when it least suspect it.
well, first of all, let me ask our resident non-Whovian, did you catch it, Kelly?
Catch what?
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Sorry, for the last couple of weeks I've been busy studying so I could be part of this National Science Foundation project. So TV's been a foreign thing.
Naughty.
No.
Bad.
So I have been trying to make it up since I've passed that final exam with the Simpsons marathon.
Well, I gotta admit that I've been hooked on the Simpsons marathon for this last week. But
There's 4 more days.
At least half of my department at school has been TiVoing it.
I have been recording all the Treehouse of Horror episodes because I'm going to have a Halloween marathon.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been.
Well,
I love those are my favorite.
Actually, we use the one for the monkey's paw whenever we do the monkey's paw. You know, the monkey's paw episode. Yeah.
Anyway, back to deep breath.
Yeah. See,
Oh.
I know we have different opinions, but you know, I still miss my Matt Smith. You know, I kind of miss him, and this new Doctor, he sort of makes me miss him more.
Well, one thing's for sure, he's a different doctor. He isn't like Matt Smith. He isn't like David Tennant. This guy is plain crabby. I mean, he just comes off very, very crabby. You know, he's like, I don't like you kids. I don't like you. Go away. Something like that.
He did come off really negative, didn't he?
Yeah.
I prefer to think of him. He came off as hardcore, man. I mean, he scared that old guy in the alley, man. That guy was terrified of him, which I like. I like stuff like they're going with a scary doctor, instead of he's funny.
Of what I understand, he rewrote some of Moffat's lines, saying, "No, no, 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 my doctor would not do that," because Moffat wanted him to be more of a romantic with
Playgirl.
Souffle girl.
Souffle girl.
Clara.
Wanted him and Clara to be more romantic, and he said, "No, my doctor is not romantically involved. He is not Matt Smith, a horn dog to anybody that comes along."
Well, that's one thing I did like. He did have some great lines in the episode, and I like the line where he finally got himself together at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I took this whole episode of him trying to establish himself, him trying to find himself.
To climb through all the wibbly wobbly stuff in his head.
And he said, I'm not your boyfriend. And, that I think really establishes him. Because he's very, I don't want to say cold.
Why not?
Because I don't want to say he's cold, because saying cold, that means he doesn't care. He
cares.
He cares, but he's just standoffish.
No, I have to disagree with you. I maybe cold works simply because if you've seen the original Doctors, that's what the Doctors were, man. Originally, they were cold. They were, they got the job done. They were a little above everybody else because they're Time Lords.
No, because cold means you don't care.
And they're like that. They didn't express, I have the warm and fuzzy for any of you. And they were very reserved.
No, I mean, I wouldn't stay cold for anybody except maybe Chris Eccleston. And even then, he wasn't cold.
I disagree with you, man. I do totally disagree with you. Yeah, I mean, he is business. And remember, he is going through a very hard time. He's looking at the face and he's going, what all has come to make this face? Who's put in the frowns? This is a face of this doctor, of what's going on inside him. But remember her line. The doctor is where he always has been. He has my back. And he did.
Yeah, going to that scene, my favorite thing about that scene, though, if you look at that scene, did you think he was going to be there? For me, there was a moment of doubt. For me, there was a moment of doubt that he probably would have.
Yeah, there is. But the thing is that, I mean, he does what is necessary. And, you have to remember, the doctor has lost companions before. And the doctor, sometimes he has to remember, who am I really here for? Is it just the companions, or is it to save everyone?
Yeah, but that's, let me tell you the line that I say he's not cold. Because there was that moment, where we had Matt Smith's cameo back, and then he looks at Clara, and he shows the emotion there, and he's like, don't you see me? Don't you
know who I am?
Don't you know that I'm here?
I'm still me.
Yeah. And so he's trying to reconnect with her. And that's where I kind of see that this guy cares. He cares differently, but he's... I think the word, because I keep trying to say, how am I going to describe this guy?
Callous?
And he is a little callous, but...
Not completely.
I don't want to say cold, because just by definition of cold, that means you just don't care. And he does. He wants people to accept him. He tries to reach out to Clara, but he just says it too. I'm not the hugging type.
Well, I'm getting everything from you guys, and what I can gather, he's not a cold character. He is definitely not cold because, number one, he cares being recognized. He wants to be recognized. A cold character would not even care if he was recognized or not. He would have been there, and he would have said, you know what, I'm going to do the job. I don't care. But you know what? One thing I can get from him, he is definitely focused. He's
Yeah.
focused on what he's going to do, and he's going to do it.
He's
And
hard-edged.
yes,
I would say he's hard-edged.
and you know, anyone else? Could you see Matt Smith or let me see the David Tennant or Christopher Eccleston? Could you see them taking a dead man's face and putting it on like a mask?
That was
Remember that.
disturbing.
That is disturbing.
Which I like. I like the fact that this doctor is going to be more hardcore, more disturbing, more focused. I think the best word to describe him is reserved. He's a lot more reserved, you know.
Yeah,
He doesn't tell you what he's going
I
to do.
will agree with you on that one.
You know, he
I
doesn't
just have-
reveal all his plan. You know, he keeps everything. What's the expression? Keeping it close to the vest. That's kind of what this
Yeah.
doctor seems like to me.
Orly, I just have to go ahead and quote River Song. Spoilers.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Well, switching from that, I have to say the story dragged for me a little bit on this one. You know, I have to say the first 20 minutes, the first half hour of the episode, I got a little tired.
Yeah,
I have to
can-
agree with you too. You know what really bothered me about this episode, and you know, I like what they did with the Lizard Woman and her wife. I like how they played that right at the beginning. They said, "Okay, we're lesbians. Get over it. We're here. We're together. Fine." This one,
Technically, no.
over and over again. Okay, that irritated me. Oh, they had to bring it up every scene they had them with. Oh yeah, let's not forget they're lesbians. Like, well, I know they're lesbians. You know, you don't have to like keep adding to it every time they had a scene. And oh, now she's hitting on Clara. You know.
She's third sex.
Yeah, she's sort of in the middle.
Yeah, she's a third sex. Pretty true. You know, that's why it's kind of. They never use the word lesbian because she's kind of like a third sex
Fine.
thing.
What's her wife?
You know, because she can grow whatever part is needed, if you know what I mean.
Nature will find a way.
Yeah.
She's related to those frogs.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, she is from the Cretaceous period, and since she is, I mean, those dinosaurs that they came back, we don't know whether it's the DNA of frogs that did it, or the DNAs of the dinosaurs. So it stands to reason, maybe she could do that.
Well, I gotta say, I did like the part where she's like, "Wow, I haven't seen one since I was a little girl." But
With them, you know, the thing that kind of bothered me was that was fan service. Them, you know, oh, she's supposed to be painting a portrait. That was all fan service.
yeah. And again, that dragged. You know, they really didn't hit the stride until after the half hour. And once they were at the scene with the restaurant and all that, that's when things kind of picked up.
Yeah, and the thing about that is the fact that you have to establish a few things. The doctor's still trying to figure himself out. He's still cooking a little bit. And finally, when he starts hitting a stride, he starts figuring things out. He starts doing things. He scares somebody half to death, and takes something away from them. But
No, they traded. They traded.
they traded.
He traded
Yeah.
for the code. He didn't just take it.
Yeah,
He gave away his favorite watch.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, and then we have that storyline at the end, you know, where the girl called him her boyfriend.
Oh,
Have we seen her before?
I don't know. I'm starting to think she
Wait.
might be the master. I don't know. We'll see.
No, well, maybe she could be that lady that was. Remember the Dalek lady during the attack on Christmas? That lady that was up on the ship trying
The
to
priestess?
protect
But
the priestess.
it wasn't her.
Yes.
It wasn't her, but maybe it might have something to do with her. I don't know. You know what? Some things that you think they're going to be prevalent might not be. Things will change. We don't know what the heck's going to
Well,
happen.
somebody brought up, you know, like, is it River, like, you know, regenerated? But it's not River because she called her boyfriend, not husband.
Yeah. Sweetie.
And Yeah, and all that. But I guess that's part of the storyline they're developing. But
Yeah, and she got that guy, so it kind of makes it seem like they're gonna create an army to go after the Doctor. That's kind of the kind of the anticipation I'm getting, or the idea I'm getting. She's gonna start recruiting all these different kinds of people for something. I don't know what, but we know the Doctor's gonna be the focus of it, whatever it is.
well, I do like the idea that she's a master, but it's just something about her. Is like at first I was thinking, was she the one with the eye patch that was trying to stop him?
Maybe, you never know.
Then I don't think it's not the same actress. So
But then
that's like
Then again, they give us a giant clue, man. She's like, "This is paradise." That means something. It means something that they're in paradise. It's gotta be connected to something. And that's kind of one thing I like about this Doctor Who. We've had enough Doctor Who's that are enough seasons of Doctor Who that we can make reference to something. Like this episode, the bad guy was a reference to another episode, which I thought was great. I mean, great they connected it that way.
Yeah, Madam Pump.
yeah. All right. Hopefully, again, we'll see more, and we'll be talking about Doctor Who. Next week is one with the Daleks. So
I say basically we still need to go ahead and see some more episodes before we totally make a decision on the Doctor. But for me, I like it. It's a change because it seems like David Tennant, hamming it up for the girls, Matt Smith hamming it up for the girls, and now you're finally getting a Doctor that's not trying to ham it up.
well, I'm going to reserve judgment of the Doctor for next week because this one, again, like we said, he was still cooking. He was still trying to find himself. He was still trying to figure himself out. So, and at the end, I got a better picture of him, and I have to say, I like what I saw. There was a lot of early Doctor Who in that, almost like the first, second, and third Doctor Who.
Yeah, the ones that were like all pissed off with the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this done no matter what, and I don't care if you hate me for doing it, but I'm gonna do what is necessary. As he said, about the thing, I'm gonna need it.
Yeah. So next week, I'm going to tell you about it, All right. A couple of things we got to let you know. Big news for Nerds on the Couch. Las Cruces Comic-Con next week, September 5th through 7th. Guests include Ray Park, Jason Ibarra from the Power Rangers, and stuntmen from various movies. He's going to bring the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles van. Paul Doc Nye, he's bringing the Back to the Future DeLorean. Jim Steranko, who's a comic book legend. Jim Steranko. Sorry, misspelled that. Comic book legend. He's one of my favorite comic book artists of all time. Famous for doing S.H.I.E.L.D., Captain America, and all that in the 70s and 80s. He's going to be here. For what?
He was an escape artist. That was his career.
And then we're also going to have the 1960s Batmobile. Cosplayers Heather Leet and Jennifer Ann. We're getting a twofer, and tons of artists and booths to check out. Las Cruces is going to be a lot of fun and all that. And you can say hi to Nerds on the Couch. We are going to be there in the booth. You can take your souvenir photo for us, say hi to us, and slap David in the face.
Go for it.
Oh, man.
That's what you say about Asians? That's what you say about black?
I wasn't saying anything about Asians. What I'm saying is that not any Asian, the way he was making it seem, you cast any Asian, as long as she's Asian, she's going to be Katana. No. You need somebody that can look like Katana.
If that's the way you understood it, that's your problem, David.
Anyway, come and argue with David for free.
Well, I'm looking at images of Jennifer Ann and also Heather Leek. They are awesome. She does some really awesome cosplay. They both do. My God.
And of course, like I said, Nerds on the Couch will be there. We're going to have our own booth and all that. You can come say hi. We're going to do a live show on Saturday. and generally talk everything nerd to catch the latest news, catch anything that's going on over there. So come say hi to us. Let's see here, and then
Right, before we get to that, let me do a quick review of the Sin City Dame to Kill for.
yeah, hold on, we'll get yours next. Kelly, where are you going to be at?
Well,
Oh no, we lost her.
Oh, we lost her.
I'll try back in a minute. God, I don't know what's going on with my connection tonight.
Actually, you came out clear there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Okay, that's just.
Okay, try it, Kelly. Try it.
No, she's gone.
Oh, we lost her.
All right.
There's another
Okay.
face.
Oh my.
Kelly, you're beautiful, but you got to stop with those poses.
All right. Let's get back to Chino.
I know. Well, no, I mean it's like that Beyonce, you know, that photo with her. They just caught her at a bad time, and she was like, yeah, you know. You know. And you know, it just takes 1 second in this day with HD that. You know?
And they keep on posting it. She was mad that everyone kept on posting it, and then the crazy thing is people started changing like the color and made the incredible like She-Hulk.
Once it's on the internet, it's
Yeah.
all over.
And she was
All
starting
right.
to sue people.
In a way,
Okay.
kind of good. I mean, you think about it, it kind of balances out all the Photoshop. If you're able to take an authentic picture of somebody, that's kind of cool, you know? It's a kind of good counter for everything that gets Photoshopped nowadays.
Okay. Tina, yeah, we saw Sin City 2 this week.
Basically, it wasn't as good as the first one. If you're expecting it to be as good as the first one, it wasn't. It was a little bit shorter too. The stories were a little more condensed. But overall, if you just want to see the movie, you know, great. It's just great. Colorfully, the way it looks, visually, it's as good as the first one. Story-wise, it was a little weaker than the first one. Overall, I give it a B. It's a good movie. Go watch it. You'll be entertained. It goes by pretty quick. In fact, that's kind of the problem. It seemed to go by too fast, and you know, you're like, wow, it's over already. Overall, B. I liked it.
Okay. I'm going to make it short because I don't want to waste time on this. Any movie that contradicts or ruins the first movie gets an automatic F in my book.
Yeah, actually, you're absolutely right, because if
And,
it brings it down,
This one, like, messed up the first one. And, you know, they stepped over each other. They contradicted each other in parts. And, you know, I ended up, like, I wanted to walk out on it. And because, for one, the actors looked like they were just phoning it in. Okay, it looked really bad. They brought back Mickey Rourke. At first you think it's a prequel, then it turns out, wait a minute, it can't be a prequel because this happened. Wait a minute, no it didn't, but yet it is. And then they had some supernatural elements toward the end, which is like, what the? You know, it was just a jumbled mess of a movie. I think Frank Miller directed it more than Robert Rodriguez, and this movie is just plain awful. It just automatically, because it contradicts itself and it ruined the first one, it gets an automatic F. Don't see it. Stay away from it.
Are you saying this is like the the comedian that over-explains the joke that he just told and ruins the joke?
I don't want to say it over-explains anything because that's giving too much credit to this movie. But it's just like some parts where I'm kind of like, wait a minute, when they disregarded the first one.
Ooh.
And it just
That's an
like,
automatic. I'm not going to see it then. Ever.
yeah, I mean, it just,
Because I loved the first one.
and I'm kind of like, why did you bring these guys back? They're pointless.
Money.
You know? Yeah, it's just like, you know. And,
Agree with you. You have a point. If you've never read anything about Sin City, you got a point. But if you do read the graphic novels, it makes sense. You understand why it's going like that. Sin City does that all the time. You know, it's not sequential. It jumps around. That's what it did in this movie. It's gonna jump around to different areas.
No, but then it's not that it jumped around. It's just that it lost itself, like the writers didn't know what they were doing, or they forgot their own storylines. Especially the end. The end was horrible because it just contradicted itself completely. It disregarded events that happened in the past. And clearly it was the past because some characters were already dead, or we thought they were dead, but yet they're here. And, you know, it's like all of a sudden I do a movie where Chino dies in the beginning, and then for some reason we're all sitting around at the end of the movie celebrating that we won the victory, and Chino's there with a cup, and everybody's like, what the hell is he doing? And that...
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it seemed more like Frank Miller was directing it. Do you think that, you know, because we know that he's one of the reasons why The Spirit didn't do as well as it could have. But do you think that he was behind the scenes? This was his show and Robert Rodriguez was just taking his marching orders?
Frank Miller was co-director.
Co-director? Okay.
Yeah. And so I think...
That's exactly what it is.
I think he had more parts than Robert Rodriguez. I don't know. I think Robert Rodriguez was making out with Chase Anderson or whoever he was having an affair with that week. You know, he has a zipper problem. But
he can't have an affair, man. He got divorced.
Oh, he got divorced again?
They got divorced a long time ago.
No, he hooked up with.
If you're gonna say Rose McGowan, they broke up a long time ago, man.
Okay, then never mind. He's just swinging.
Yeah,
and,
Rose McGowan got married to some other dude. I don't know, like last year.
Well, he's been going ahead and striking out here and there all over the place because his last few movies have been really bombs, and he can't get a lot of movies even made anymore. Not even his Spy Kids movies where his son was going ahead and doing the writing for it.
And, well, like I said, I don't want to waste any more words. You know, Chino, what grade did you give it?
B. I give it a B.
I gave it an F, just an automatic F. So I say avoid it. He says watch it. So now that we're finishing off our movies, I want to talk about the best and worst that we had.
Kelly's back. Kelly was going to talk about something, right?
Oh, yeah. Kelly?
Okay, where are
No.
There.
Oh, Kelly, we can see you. We just can't hear you. For some reason, you keep fading out.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you always leave us with, like, awkward pictures of yourself.
Oh, she's muted now.
She's muted now. She muted herself.
No.
There we go.
No, there it is.
Nope.
Yeah, for some reason, I guess since the little accident earlier in the day, everyone's been having trouble with the internet in my complex. So where did we leave off, boys?
Well, you were going to tell us what cons you have coming up.
Okay. So for those who are on the East Coast, September 13th, if you're a Masters of the Universe fan, we are...
Duncan!
Yeah, he wants to be part of the show.
Jackie, get it off!
Oh.
Is that a gremlin?
Have to get on the bed.
It's like that bug from Turn Left or Turn Right, whatever.
Okay. Like I was saying, September 13th at 7 o'clock, I will be at the Masters Bash Protection Party, which would have been the night of PowerCon. So there is something that the New York, New Jersey area He-Man and She-Ra fans are doing for those who are flying in because they had non-refundable tickets. Then
Kelly, we do have something to celebrate.
Yeah, well, just because I won! Hallelujah!
Oh!
You know what's gonna happen? People that watch the show, they're gonna think that she was celebrating for a long time, so we cut her off. Moving on, celebrating, and we just like cut her off because we didn't want to be that. We didn't want anybody to see that. We edited her out because she was.
Oh my god!
No.
You know, that's what we're gonna think.
This is completely live. This is what live shows are all about.
Yeah, and apparently they don't get good internet in Jersey. Okay. Basically, again, she was pointing out they're having a PowerCon party over there for the people who got tickets who are non-refundable because there was going to be the PowerCon, but it ended up getting canceled. So they're going to have a He-Man, She-Ra party. And again, right now, the good news that we're celebrating, and Kelly was celebrating and broke the internet, was because subscribers like me and Kelly and all the supporters of the He-Man line were able to get together, and we saved the line for the last year. So 2015 will be the final MOTU year, and we succeeded, believe it or not, with 100.09%.
Wow.
So it was really close that we saved the line. But we get our final figures, so that's kind of the good news for that. And hopefully Kelly gets to join us. All right. We'll have her jump in as we go. But I want to talk about the best and worst of this year. Summer is basically over. There's no other major movies coming on. And, we can't discuss all the summer movies that came in. But I gotta say, didn't this year feel kind of short?
I have to agree with you.
It felt sparse. I mean, there were many, many, many weeks where there was nothing for us to go watch. The July 4th weekend, the only thing that was really out there, which had already come out, was Transformers, if I'm not mistaken. In which that is usually a week where all sorts of stuff came out. It was very sparse this year, and also, summer was at its lowest through May, June, July. But do you know what saved summer finally? And actually.
Well, hold on. We're gonna get to that. But I just wanted, that this summer just seemed weak.
Oh, it was.
I think for me, the problem with summer was that it started out with the best movie ever, Captain America. For me, that was the best movie of the summer. It started with a really high point, and then unfortunately, they couldn't keep that high point as we went through most of the movies.
Well, technically, Captain America was not a summer movie.
Really?
It didn't. Yeah, it came before summer.
Oh, well then.
Welcome back.
Okay, then yeah, it was a terrible summer. I agree with you.
They may be starting too early nowadays.
Well, it's the jump. I mean, it's the fact that they don't want to go ahead and go up against anyone else and compete. They want to get the first jump on the year and try to get their money as fast as they can. So they start movies getting out sooner and sooner. So when summer comes up, you barely have anything. I mean, that's when you end up with stuff like Sin City. I don't know.
Let's bring up the first hit that we have, and I call this movie a hit, and I'm talking about Godzilla. We didn't review it because we were on vacation during this time, but we did review it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I can't remember what we reviewed and not, but
Orly talked about he missed that Godzilla didn't go ahead and do his flying kick, going ahead and going all the way through.
I also, am kind of disappointed they didn't show Godzilla versus Bambi. That was like the greatest thing in the world. You gotta have Godzilla going ahead and stepping on some Bambi because that's just the way that goes. I mean, if that would have been even better if that would be in 3D. You know what I mean?
Oh God! Now I have to go ahead and look that up on YouTube. I haven't seen that.
It came out in Godzilla in 1985.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, I gotta say, this one I would call a sleeper hit, and people wanted it. I mean, people weren't expecting it to be huge, and I think that was kind of like they considered it an underdog, but it really wasn't. It was a big mega. You know, they did put a lot of effort and money into it, and I think it was a good start for a franchise.
There were some good things. Only two things really, really bothered me about the movie. One, they killed Bryan Cranston. Like, I agree with you. You mentioned that through the trailer, you think he's going to be in the movie a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's in what, maybe 15 minutes, maybe.
Even
maybe
that?
More. Maybe even that. And that bothered me. I wanted to see him. Second thing that bothered me is the young soldier. I didn't care about him or his wife. That just dragged the movie for me. And if you watch how it should have ended, they do a great job of it right there.
Well, one of the things that I'm going to say is the success of this movie also is partially brought on by the mediocre success of another movie the summer previous, and which of course is Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim. It sort of primed the pump to where people were in the mood for a big kaiju monster film.
Oh, Duncan.
That's what I think. I mean, I think that movie sort of primed the pump. It got people into the mood for it. And it got people into the theaters for Godzilla itself.
Well, here's the thing I want to ask you guys. What was the downside to that movie?
The soldier in his voice.
You said the soldier. David, you agree?
I would agree. The soldier. Some of the big holes, such as we're going to drop a nuclear bomb, but really, is it far enough from the city to save the city?
Oh, the city was lost, man. They had to kill the city.
I mean,
like cancer.
There are some plot holes in it that are very big, but then again, those plot holes are small considering other Godzilla films that were absolutely horrible, that had plot holes that were black holes in size. This is the best that we have brought out in the United States for Godzilla. And for me, it brought out the spirit of the original Godzilla, which is why they were afraid it was not going to do well in Japan. When it came out in Japan, it was #1. And the Japanese actually gave it their seal of approval. They said that this is very much, if not their Godzilla, at least one of its offspring that isn't even illegitimate, which would be
what I
the
remember
1999
was
film.
they were making fun of it. Remember that it was the American Godzilla because he was so fat?
Yeah, he ate too many Americans,
He ate too many Americans. No. Here's my impression of Godzilla.
Well, they were even saying on their blogs and all that, which I have read, some of their blogs, a lot of the people were saying, no. Those are just some few crazy otaku in their dark room that are just going ahead and being trolls.
Again, angry hate mail, David.
No. Don't blame me. I'm talking about what the Japanese people were saying about these people that were, complaining well before even shots of the movie were coming out.
All right. Let's see. I haven't. Kelly?
Now we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Kelly, I'm barely hearing you. It sounds muffled.
Dang these hearing aids.
Okay.
It's just not Kelly's
Yeah,
day
I know. Kelly, you got to buy internet from a reputable company, not the mafia. Okay.
Okay, now who's gonna get in trouble?
Send your hate mail to Renee.
Oh,
Yeah, now you have the Sopranos after you.
Oh man, I just see the newspaper. The mafia and ninjas are after your
Kelly, you sound really muted, honey. I can't. Oh, and there's Duncan again. I miss him. Okay.
Oh.
It looks like the dog's attacking you. That's why the camera's like jumping all over.
The dog's taking over.
We think you're fine. We think Duncan's fine. We just can't hear you.
All right. Yeah, good video. But yeah, we can't hear you. One thing I wanna emphasize here is that to me, I enjoyed it for its subtlety. It wasn't like an adrenaline rush through the movie, and again, the main criticism, and I kind of agree with it, was that we didn't see that much Godzilla in it. But that's how Godzilla movies are. Because if they give you too much Godzilla, the movie just isn't good.
Well,
And,
it was sounding like you were complimenting it that it wasn't a Michael Bay film.
Yes, it wasn't. And the one thing I really enjoyed was the potential, because they explained how other monsters could exist. And of course, the sequel is coming. They did announce the sequel.
Rodan.
And Rodan.
Mothra.
I love Rodan.
And King Ghidorah is going to be there. So, now we're getting an American monster film.
Mm-hmm.
I would have enjoyed this movie if the scenes without Godzilla had been more interesting with somebody else. And I wish they hadn't killed Bryan Cranston. I think he would have been a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, and I say that. Well, you're right. The story did drag when it came to the soldier, but when it came to Godzilla coming out and killing stuff, that was great. Especially when he gave the kiss of death. Kiss of death, wonderful.
Godzilla didn't even have to attack, man. Just him walking was more interesting for me. Oh, he's walking! Yay! He's swimming! Yay! Oh, we're back to the soldier. All right.
Well, that's how it was. When you heard the boom, 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 the noise that Kelly's making, boom.
Oh.
That was good timing. Well, terrible for Kelly.
I know. You were making like weird noises right now, Kelly. And then, when you hear the that sound, I was like, oh God, here it comes. Godzilla. It's like when, something awesome with Godzilla's gonna come, and I wasn't disappointed with that.
I was like a kid at Christmas, waiting for Godzilla. I'm like, is it here? Is Santa Claus here? Is it?
Well,
yes!
I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why I was glad Godzilla came out. Because just the prior week or 2 weeks before, I don't remember how many, we had already had a very bad taste in our mouth because of misspun webbing going our way.
Oh, no.
Well, nice segue to our next movie, David.
Well, it's true. I had for myself, a bad taste, and I needed a good film to go ahead and get the taste out of my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you talk about Spider-Man 2, didn't you feel like, a little bit on that one skit from Family Guy where it shows Spider-Man and he's all covered in webbing and there's Mary Jane walking around. It's like, I don't know how this happened. This hasn't happened ever. Didn't it feel like that?
When it comes to Spider-Man 2, it's kind of for me like Godzilla. I had no problem with Andrew Garfield playing Peter Parker, playing Spider-Man. His scenes were great. I like him as Spider-Man. He's a perfect Peter Parker for me. He plays him really well. He's in high school. You see his understated intelligence. We know
Web
he's
shooters.
Huh?
Web shooters.
Web shooters. I love that. With him, I had no problem. But then again, that's the problem. I had a problem with everything else around him.
Well, let me tell you what ruined it for me was the villain. movies, especially superhero movies, are only as good as the bad guy. And this villain, Electro, on paper, and again, I'm saying it on paper, and in the trailers, it looked awesome. Jamie Foxx, amazing actor. He's a great actor. Electro is a worthwhile villain, but they made him two-dimensional. He was like a cartoon, in the real world, and they just ruined him.
I have a quote for you. Never go full retard.
Dude.
Hey.
Please send hate mail today.
No, he played it too much of the nerd. Too much. He went ahead and went over what he should have.
Well, let's get down to let's go to stereotypes. Okay, they made him a nerd, but they made him the nerd to the point where he's socially awkward. They made him like the worst stereotype of a nerd. That's what they did him. And then they did a service even worse, where they also made him a villain because of it. He's like so intelligent now. He's a bad guy, and that's messed up. That's a terrible stereotype. At least in my opinion.
Went too far. They went too far.
And then the other villain. Here's the thing. That poster, I remember I saw the poster, and I was saying, wow, it looked awesome. You had the Rhino there. You had Electro there. You had the Green Goblin. And I was thinking like, oh man, it's gonna be like a all-out battle with those three against Spider-Man. No. And the Green Goblin just looked like a green Beavis.
No. He didn't look like a green Beavis. You know what he looked like? He looked like the guy from the original movie. Fright Night. He looked like evil.
Evil.
He looked like evil. He did. Look at him again. He looks like evil.
You're right.
And the problem with that is I'm spoiled, man. Spider-Man, when they brought out the Green Goblin, I like the way they did it. His body armor is super strong, pumpkin bombs, razor bats, and I was kind of hoping that they were gonna make him more spookier in this one, but and in a way they did. They made it spookily bad. That's what I was kind of half afraid. What would have really made me hate this movie more is if they hadn't killed Gwen Stacy. You know what I mean? I was looking at that scene and I was half afraid they were gonna chicken out. I was like, oh, I hope that it was getting so bad to that point. I was like, oh, I hope they don't chicken out. I hope they don't do something. And then you're like, oh no, they saved her. At the very least, they respected the material enough to end it the way it ended. I just wish that the supervillain, they'd done a better job of making him. And I kind of feel like Renee when he was talking about how much he didn't like the way the lizard looked in the first movie. I have the same feeling now with the Green Goblin. They did a horrible job visually of the way he looks.
Well, let me say this. I said that in the first movie, the lizard looked like a Koopa from the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah,
he did look like a Koopa, that movie.
Now, and again, here is the update. The Sinister Six movie is still on track. It's on the DVD where they talk about it, and they gave you the clues in that movie. And I don't know how they're going to do it, honestly, at this point. I can't wrap my head around it unless Spider-Man shows up in it. But it doesn't appear that he's going to be in it. But there is a Spider-Man 3 coming. And at this point, I have to say, I don't want to say I'm burned out. I'm burned out on this director. I'm burned out on the scriptwriter. Because those are the two people who I blame for this. Because I read the script. I got my hands on the unaltered script. And Chino, you said that I hope the director didn't chicken out. The director chickened out on tons of good material. They cut out the story part where Oscorp is spying on Peter Parker because there was supposed to be a conspiracy storyline that they completely cut out. Kelly, do we have you? I don't hear you.
I don't hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kelly. We see you perfectly. You look fine.
Yeah.
I can't hear you at all. Kelly, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That'll probably be the best.
Yeah, did you like Spider-Man? Okay, yeah.
She didn't like Spider-Man.
Yeah,
She didn't like Spider-Man.
yeah. I don't think there was any of us that did.
Kelly, I think you have to find a whiteboard and start writing out your message. And then we're losing her.
Let me ask you guys a question.
A vast virus database has been updated.
Let me ask you a question.
Kelly's cussing us out right now, so.
Let me ask you guys a quick question. The performance of the lizard in the first movie, how would you compare it to the performance of the guy playing the Goblin, the son, Harry Osborn? Performance-wise, what do you think?
Oh, no, the lizard was way better. The actor
Yeah,
was way
way
better
better.
than the character. Yeah, by a million times, man.
I mean, this guy kept on reminding me of a cross between the kid
Justin
from
Bieber?
Home Alone. Yeah, no, the kid from Home Alone going ahead and, intermixed with evil from,
Right now.
Fright Night.
No, well, let me tell you, he reminded me of like every evil bully you see in his movies. Oh,
Whoa, what was that?
Kelly.
Kelly's cussing everybody out now at this point.
Do you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
now we
yes,
heard you.
yeah.
Yes.
we just can't
Finally found out what's going on with my phone.
Okay, we hear you, but we can't see you, so I'd rather hear you.
yeah,
We have a nice picture of you. What were your thoughts on Spider-Man?
Oh, we lost her.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Ah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think if they got somebody else to play Harry Osborn, I don't know who, would that have made the character a little bit better? What do you guys think? I don't know.
No, because this guy is a
The
good
way it
actor. I've seen him in other stuff. Again, I blame the director. I give the fault between the director and the scriptwriter. And the director, I give him 80% of fault.
Okay, I think I'm back.
Yeah, we
Hey,
got you.
Hey, there you go.
all right, you're,
I now know Digital River is running my internet service. And I know Renee knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Really quick, tell us what's your thoughts on Spider-Man.
Pretty much what you guys all said. It was a piece of poop.
and we lost.
Hey, we lost her.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly.
I know.
You got it.
I know.
Okay, I've said my piece. Goodbye. There she is
Okay,
again.
definitely Digital River and whoever produced Spider-Man is running this internet connection. But no, I did say it stank. It's in my failure box. Has to go back to summer school.
Oh, yeah.
Repeat.
Well, here's a question I was going to ask you guys. How, and again, it made money, but still, people criticized it, and it did get badly reviewed. That 20th Century Fox is, they are listening to it. So the question is, how can this be saved? How would you save this movie
You're
or
kind of-
franchise?
Let go of the rights and let Disney take over.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that is the best thing right there.
Yeah. Wow. Good point. Yeah.
Disney's doing
Hit the
something
nail on the
like
head.
right with Marvel.
Give it back to Marvel.
I can't argue with you. That's the most intelligent thing I've heard, today.
Hats off to you, sir. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but seriously, is there any way this franchise can be saved?
I think so. If you really spend time in making solid bad guys, you know what I mean? Don't make them two-dimensional. Make them interesting. I mean, look at the Lizard. The Lizard was an interesting character. He was not third-dimensional. We understood his motivation. We knew why he did what he did. And we see the conflict in him. We don't see that. We didn't see that in the villain for the second one. They really got to sit down and create solid villains. Make them real. Don't make them cartoon cutouts.
I would say go back to, those people involved in writing and directing need to go back and actually read some of the comics. because this didn't feel like any of the comic lines of Spider-Man that I've seen. I mean, maybe I don't know. It didn't feel like any of the comics.
All right, here's my spiel. Fire the director, fire the writer, hire somebody who actually knows how to write things and have respect for the characters. And then finally, get a director that really actually understands what he's got and who he's going to put in. And you know what? And have a lot of respect for those characters. Otherwise, I say throw it in the dumpster. Give it back to Marvel.
Yeah, actually, I had a good thought. Okay, bring back Sam Raimi, keep Andrew Garfield, and dude should be okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah. Kelly,
I mean,
before we lose you.
With me, again, fire the director and writer. They're definitely not respecting the characters. Allow the actors to embrace the character and become the character. I mean, Jamie Foxx would have been great in the role if he was allowed to really use his talents.
I'm going to go somewhere on this. Maybe it's not just the director and writer. I feel that basically, once again, the industry got in the way, and maybe the executives ordered things, creating another Spider-Man 3 situation.
What, you want to go on TV?
I think Kelly's a man. Oh, never mind.
You know what? Point blank, I think Duncan should write this and actually direct.
He'd probably be better at it.
Kelly, next time you cosplay, you gotta put him in man-at-arm armor. You have to.
I'm actually waiting till he's finished growing before I build his puppy at armor.
Oh, this is cool. I gotta see that.
Oh yeah.
He's
All right.
still growing.
But we need other films to get to, man.
Okay, the next one, and I have to say, this one's a mixed bag for me. I don't know how it was for you guys, because we didn't review it. Transformers Age of Extinction.
I have nothing to say because I didn't get to see it.
I didn't see it either.
Really?
I'm a bad girl.
I watched it.
Okay.
Well, it just felt too angry. Optimus Prime came off as, you know what, I don't give a crap about anybody anymore. I'm going to do whatever the heck. I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and start shooting humans. That's how it felt. And then, it just became not Optimus Prime. The character Optimus Prime was no longer what he was. I saw always, and no matter what, Optimus Prime, no matter how much he was dragged through the mud, he would do the right thing no matter what, because it's Optimus Prime. But I love the Dinobots. I love the Dinobots. I loved every minute of the Dinobots. I love the fact that they were there. Seeing Optimus Prime riding a Dinobot was like the best thing ever. I mean, it was like, oh, I'm in awe. He's riding, and he's got a sword, and fire and brimstone is coming. Wow. Yes, he's going to smite my enemies and cut off, pull off their neck and poop down their neck and stuff like that. It's like really cool. So it's a mixed bag for me.
This is my question for you. Did you like the Dinobots enough that you're gonna buy the DVD? Or
Blu-ray? I'm thinking of, because I'll tell you this: I am buying the Godzilla Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
digital copy. The whole shebang on that.
I'm gonna get the 3D for myself.
I haven't gone full 3D yet, so no. Digital. I've gone digital. For Transformers, let me say this: it was entertaining. It was an entertaining movie because one, Shia LaBeouf is not in it.
Thank God.
It does go a new direction, because Orly said hostile or angry, and I picked that up. I really pick it up that it was negative, but the whole theme of the movie was really negative because things went dark, and I think that was the natural progression where things were going to go anyway, because you can't go positive, you can't go cartoony. They had to go. This was the natural evolution that they went. The mixed bag for me was that Mark Wahlberg and the human cast was kind of difficult to swallow. I kind of had a hard time liking them. Especially Mark Wahlberg is not a good actor to me. I mean, I don't really find him as a good actor at all. He does action movies because he's all buff and all that, but he's no Dwayne Johnson, or
Yeah.
any other action movie star. But I enjoyed the movie. I really enjoyed Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime really stands up in that movie. The Dinobots were really awesome. The storyline, this movie actually had a story.
Yeah.
Which I give it credit. The last two movies didn't have stories. They just had special effects. This one did have a story. And overall, I'm glad this movie was what it was. It saved the Transformer franchise.
Wait, I disagree with you. The last two films did have a story. Everything went to go ahead and ruin the Witwicky's vacations.
Well, and you're absolutely right. It did help save it. There are the dark parts and everything. But, if you want to go dark, you might as well go Transformers the movie and kill Optimus Prime. Right out. Just kill him. Yeah. Because that's what happened. He died. And if you didn't cry when Optimus Prime died, you are a villain. And you know what? I didn't cry. And
well, you're a villain.
Let me cut you off here. I found Transformers the motion picture back in the 80s a lot more better.
Come on, they had RC, come on. But you know
what?
We're
finally getting RC as a toy now.
Yeah, that's at least good. And we see
it only took 30 years.
Only took 30 years, and she's also one of the characters on Transformers Prime and Beast Hunters, which she is an excellent character. I love her.
I love her too.
Yeah, but some of the stuff, Transformers as a franchise, hopefully it'll be able to bounce back. The direction that they were taking in this film, you know what? Some of the stuff I like, the fact that humans started getting Transformer technology, actually using Transformer technology. I was like, finally, they have a ray gun. Come on, it took this long to give them a gun. And then you have Transformer technology, and then finally you're going to have a look at where the Transformers came from, which we have the Transformer Masters. We're going to see all that.
And that was the thing. I mean, they announced the sequel before it got released.
Yep.
And it's on the fast track. You're going to see it in 2017. 15, I think. Yeah. 15 or 16. I don't know.
I thought it was 16.
Yeah, it's coming quick.
Michael Bay is trying to walk away from the Transformers franchise.
Which is probably good.
Let him. Okay, if you don't give me what I want, I'm going to walk out. Don't let the door hit you on your way out. Goodbye.
I'll let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
I don't think he's walking away. They're probably kicking him away. No.
Go away.
Are you biting my ankle? Let go!
All right, but again, for you guys, I recommend you missed it in the theaters, catch it on DVD. It's actually okay. It's actually better, and it is a better movie.
Truthfully, I think Michael Bay is probably thinking about making his Battleship sequel.
Oh my God!
Oh,
no one else is considering it, but he thinks it's a good idea. No one else considers it. He thinks it's a good idea.
Hey,
is that crazy?
Sharknado too, man. There could be.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? You consider Sharknado 2. You gotta love the fact that the only thing that can beat a shark from a Sharknado is the fact that you need sushi chefs with chainsaws. Hey, makes sense to me.
They're laughing all the way to the bank anyway, the makers of Sharknado. I mean, B-list actors are going ahead and lining up to go ahead and be in those movies.
Yeah, and you
All
know
right.
what? The only better thing than Sharknado 2 would be Big Ass Spider 2.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Yeah.
want it. Bring back girl with
Rack.
Rack.
Well, let me tell you, I'm friends with
Mike
Mike.
Mendes.
Yeah, Mike Mendes,
Mhm.
and it is. So he told me something is on the fast track.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Oh, good.
So again, I thoroughly enjoyed Big Ass Spiders and whatever, because he dropped a TV series or sequel. Whatever is on the fast track, I'm looking forward to it.
I want to see them battle the roach.
I told him Vinagrones, so he said he looked it up, so he found those interesting.
I'm like,
Uh,
Yeah, Vinegrons? Yeah.
yeah. Another one that to me was a hit was X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It was good. Not perfect, but very good.
fix the mistakes
Better.
of the past.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's what I love the best about it, is that it goes ahead and corrects the worst movie in the Marvel universe. You guys, it's no open secret that I hated X-Men 3.
I don't want to say I hated it.
Oh, I
just didn't
despised
like it. We discussed it in another podcast, was that the movie was saved from budget cuts and director bowing out and all that. But I have to agree with you. I completely fell in love with it because they completely rewrote the X-Men history. And it's a fresh start.
Yep. That only Wolverine remembers.
Yeah, but
And
he
I don't
won't
know how.
remember until the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
But how's that? Then he goes ahead and changes to where he never goes ahead and has that happen anyway.
Well, the one thing I am curious about, and again, I know we brought this up the last time, I'm hoping that there will be a director's cut.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know there was a lot more in the future. I mean, Anna Paquin had scenes in the future. There was a whole bunch. There was a whole different storyline of the future that they just cut out. Because it would have been like a 3-hour movie and all that. I think if they kept the original idea.
Yeah.
But I know nowadays we would have been in, but no,
So
the studio.
you're looking for a Peter Jackson Blu-ray of it?
I hope they do it, but I don't think they will. But I am looking forward to the deleted scenes. And, even though, I did have some problems with it, I think I mentioned my biggest problem was the climax of the movie. And again, now we're free to talk spoilers. Magneto, I was expecting a big, huge battle.
Mm-hmm.
Magneto taking over the Sentinels. He got that whole stadium on the White House and all that. I thought, oh my God, we're going to have an awesome battle. We're going to see Wolverine tear down some Sentinels. We're going to see Beast tear down some Sentinels. And no.
No, we got gypped.
It was.
The Sentinels were good design, good concepts. Just they weren't used well.
And Peter Dinklage, I thought was as Trask was great. He is a great actor.
Oh God, yeah.
I think he is the best thing in the film.
Well, I think Jennifer Lawrence really stood out in this movie. She became I think she really became the standout as Mystique in this one.
Yeah, she's the Mystique we needed.
Yes.
But not the one we wanted.
Not the one we wanted.
No, walk away.
Walk away.
Walk away.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, boys.
No.
Alright, but when we get to X-Men, and this is what bothered me about X-Men, there was something that bothered me, X-Men Days of Future Past, You know, one of the things that bothered me, and it bothered me throughout the movie, and I hadn't figured it out till later, what really bothered me. And one of the things that really got to me was that all the minorities are in the future, and all the minorities in the future are getting killed left and right. All of the non-minorities are in the main movie, and they go through it fine. They're all okay, you know? For me, it's like, well, what's the message here exactly? You know?
Don't be a minority in the future?
Yeah, don't be a minority in the future, you know? That bothered me a little bit, you know? And like I said, at the beginning of the movie, when the movie first came out, it was bugging me that something about it bothered me. It wasn't until later that I reflected that I figured out it was that. Although the one thing you said, Jennifer Lawrence was a standout, I agree with you. Something else that really stood out for me was Quicksilver. I thought he was going to be a joke. I was pleasantly surprised. He was not a joke at all.
I liked him. I liked Quicksilver.
I thought he was really good, but the thing I have to tell people that you have to understand, Marvel, 20th Century Fox has rights to the X-Men, and technically Quicksilver was an X-Men, but also, he's an Avenger, and you can kind of tell that 20th Century Fox was walking a fine line.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got the feeling Disney was like looking at them like, you better watch what you do.
Well, that's why they didn't show Scarlet Witch except for that brief scene as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let me tell you, there was a deleted
scene. Group.
There was a deleted scene where she shows off her powers, or hints of a power. But again, they cut it out, and I think they cut his role short because Disney is probably and it's a known fact, Disney is bullying them because they would love to get their rights back to those movies.
Oh God, yes.
Oh yeah.
They're chomping at the bit to get those movies back.
One of the scenes that I really enjoy with Quicksilver is the interaction between him and Magneto. Eric. I like the part where I think they're in the elevator and he's like, my mom kind of knew a guy that could kind of, and he's like, oh, well, he kind of brushed it off. But you see that, he's making connections there. He's figuring something out. They don't blatantly tell you, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the audience knew.
Those of us who
X-Men
knew.
Fans.
And, I brought this up, and, and I still have to say, I thought Hugh Jackman was outstanding in this movie. I thought this was one of the best Wolverine roles that he did, And I honestly still feel that this should be his swan song.
Dude, as long as he's making the money, they're going to go ahead and throw more money at him, that he's going to go ahead and play it until he's like Harrison Ford.
Geriatric Wolverine.
He'll use the CGI to his advantage.
Yeah.
He's going to be...
That's what Robert Downey does. He doesn't wear the X-Men suit anymore.
The Iron Man suit.
Yeah. The Iron Man, yeah.
He just wears the funny suit with all the ping pong balls to capture his motion.
Yeah.
All I can say is if Peter Mayhew can be Chewbacca again, hey.
Kenny Baker doing, I think that they have Kenny Baker back doing R2, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, he's back in.
And he's like almost 90 now.
Well, here's the thing that I'm going to go ahead and bring to your mind. Do you remember Futurama and the heads?
Yeah.
Basically, that's what's going to happen.
Well, still, I stand by that statement, but just to confirm, they did announce, and if you stay through the credits, you see the hint of the villain for the next movie, Apocalypse. Which I am actually glad that the X-Men franchise is going into a new direction. They've used Magneto too many times. It's time for a new villain. There is so much potential,
Mr. Sinister,
in the X-Men series. But still, I hope Disney gets it right. I'll tell you one thing. Disney did bully those because. For one thing, I was really shocked there were no toys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was no merchandising. Do you guys notice that?
Yeah.
I did.
That's the thing is that Disney owns all the merchandising for Marvel. The merchandising didn't go for them. Now, they did the merchandising for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it for the X-Men.
Well, they did it for Spider-Man because they have a cartoon, which they own, and they're making money off. And that was really their angle. Was that, hey, you know, we have the Spider-Man cartoon. We're going to be selling these Spider-Man toys, and yeah, oh, by the way, there's the movie ones. You know.
And most of the movie ones are just shelf warming now in the clearance aisle.
Yeah, they weren't. They haven't made good Marvel toys for a while, and I'm disappointed.
Well, if we're talking about Apocalypse, one of the things that goes hand in hand with Apocalypse, and if they do it right, it'll be amazing. They bring out the Four Horsemen. That'll be amazing.
Well, you saw Four Horsemen in that scene. You saw four riders in the background.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah. So hopefully, again, I thought that was a great one. The allegations of Bryan Singer have been dropped. The person who was filing the charges has withdrawn.
Wonder why?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
there was no evidence.
that's kind of a thing that's going on now. And so hopefully now the studio won't be afraid to bring him back on. And, you know, because I would like to see him direct. I thought he really did a great job directing this one. And he made up for leaving the X-Men franchise because that Superman movie wasn't good.
I have to give credit to the director for First Class, though, man. He did a good job. First Class was a really good movie. It was very enjoyable.
Without First Class, the thing is that X-Men would have died.
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Here's the thing. Everybody was thinking that First Class, because it was being rushed, everybody was saying, oh, they're just going to go ahead and put any garbage out there, sticking X-Men on it, just to save the franchise in regards to their rights. But the thing is this. They were very smart in the direction that they went. They chose the perfect actors and actresses. They went the right way, going ahead and showing the relation between Professor X and Mystique from their childhood. I mean, it really established a new direction that the series would go. And this movie, I would say, is more of a spiritual successor of First Class than it is for any of the others.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And you know what? Also ties it in really great with the other series and just makes everything perfect. Hugh Jackman sitting in the bar going, "F off."
Yeah,
That was good. Yeah.
it was good.
I enjoyed the scene of the older Mystique. I thought that was cool. I like how they threw that in there, of what Mystique would look like in the future, which, if you've seen X-Men, you know what she looks like in the future. That was cool.
Yeah, it was Rebecca Romaine Stamos, right?
Yeah.
Or she's back to Rebecca Romaine, I think.
Yeah.
But I thought, I mean, I took the Days of Future Past as a sequel to that one because I mean James McAvoy is a good replacement to Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
And they said in the sequel, this was basically the swan song to the old school actors. You're not going to see Patrick Stewart anymore. You're not going to see Ian McKellen anymore. And I thought, again, it was great to see the cameos of James Marsden and Famke Janssen and, even the short cameo of Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah, Kelsey Grammer.
It was nice seeing them, I mean, I know you guys didn't like the actors, and I agree, they weren't great actors, but it was nice because it was like full circle, bringing those actors back, and it gives it a chance now to have new actors, younger actors come in, play those characters. And James McAvoy says, like, oh man, I'm stuck doing these. He made fun of it, saying, eventually he's going to have to shave his head, which he's not looking forward to.
And it's just that
they can do a lot of things with special effects now. So maybe he doesn't have to. I want to say right now. I want to say it. Bring back Nightcrawler.
They can in this case. I mean,
Yeah,
they can put in
a new
another
actor.
They can
Yeah.
put in a new actor, and they can make it really great. But
Yeah,
what I
I
have to
want them
say
to
is
bring
that
it back.
what this movie has done is basically put X-Men inside of a Lazarus pit and let them climb out and be as crazy as possible.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I don't want to use the same old things, but truthfully, for me, it rejuvenated my zeal for X-Men. I had not been as fanatic about X-Men since X-Men 3. First Class went ahead and gave me hope. This one sealed the deal, saying we are fully in support of bringing it to a new direction, and they did.
Let
So let's
me
go on.
let me bring this up since we haven't touched on it. This today, the another one that's coming from 20th Century Fox is the other Marvel movie, Fantastic Four. Which we saw the Thing. They showed a model of what the Thing is going to look like. He's going to be CGI.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I thought, oh, okay, he's a little rocky. He's a little more edgy. And I thought, okay, I can be fine with that. And then now they showed Doctor Doom. And it looks awful.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It looks like they went ahead and had something growing on him, like moss or vines, and that's basically his body.
What were they think? What? You see the caption and they're like, Dr. Doom looks awesome. What? Awesomely bad, maybe not anything else, It was, no, what were they talking about? He even looks wimpy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It bothers me. Okay, you have a guy, for some reason they turn a guy who turns into flames black. What? Really? What are they thinking? That's bad, never mind.
It looks like, I don't know. I mean, it looks like...
The thing also that bothers me is that they're so young. All of the cast seems fairly young. So are they going to be... Is this a Fantastic Four in college? Is this right after they go to college? That's when they get all this? I'm not getting a good picture of it. And Mara... Oh, I forgot her name. But Mara... I can't remember her name. But the actress... She did make a comment that this isn't the Fantastic Four of the comics exactly. So what does that mean exactly?
She made the comment that they said, okay, we're going ahead and not dealing with the comics at all, and we're making our own thing. That for me was a number one hint. Don't go ahead and have any high hopes for this. It was the exact same. It was the exact same thing as going ahead and showing Iron Patriot.
This is just like the doctor going ahead and coming up to you and say, "Hey, you need some suppositories."
You know what? Renee said it better a little while ago when he's talking about not just Renee but all of you. You guys said that and David especially. You said that they were making X-Men First Class. They were just rushing it to make it to keep it. They keep the rights to X-Men. That's the feeling I get for this Fantastic Four. I think they're just making whatever they can make, and they're gonna release it. Because just from what I keep hearing, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think so. It looks bad. It looks like I'm gonna have to go see the George Romero one better.
It was Roger Corman. It was Roger Corman.
Yeah. I was gonna say George Romero did a Fantastic Four.
Well, just to bring this up, there's a documentary coming out about the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie. And yeah, they 20th Century Fox had to make a Fantastic Four movie. Otherwise, they're going to lose the rights. And Marvel right now is like,
yes.
Yeah, because it got back the rights to the Punisher. It got back the rights to Ghost Rider.
Blade,
yeah, it got back Blade. And and already, I mean, they've said, well, we just got the rights, and we're discussing what we're going to do with it. So, there is potential. I mean, there's potential in every Marvel character. But the Fantastic Four, this just looks bad. It just...
I'm looking closer at this Doctor Doom. He looks like a. You remember that? Remember that movie with Bill Murray? Let me see, Scrooged. Doesn't it look like that?
Oh,
It looks like that, man. It looks like a worse version of that, but it does look like that. It doesn't look as good as the one from Scrooged.
Well, let me say this about the actor. The actor who's playing Doom, he looks Eastern European.
Uh-huh.
And I always say, the other actor who I believe it was Julian McCann, he was horrible, okay? 'Cause he played the guy from Nick Tuck as Doctor Doom. And you need Doctor Doom is Eastern European. He's a mad scientist. He's obsessed. He can be violent, but lethal and cold. I mean, that's the definition of cold to me. And I need a guy like that. I need a guy who looks like he's the smartest man in the state, and he has no qualms about killing everybody. He'll blow up his whole country to take over the world.
Yeah, it is completely true.
Kelly?
Basically, I know with the Fantastic Four, I think I'm going to wait and see because it is a young cast. We don't know when they're going to start. I agree with Dr. Doom. It has to be a Middle Eastern person or someone that can portray that. But I still don't have much hope. I just wish they would let that contract die and Disney can take it over. Because Disney's doing too good of a job on Marvel.
This is becoming a theme in this episode.
Well, let me tell you.
Franchise die. Let the franchise die.
I have to say this, okay? In my mind, in my head, I would just love to see some movie, okay, whatever Marvel movie, Avengers, Iron Man, Fantastic, whatever, having Reed Richards in a conference with Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
And Hank Pym and Chris Banner, and them working out some kind of, just the meeting of the minds.
Oh my God.
Oh, that would be cool.
And Peter Parker, that would be great.
Oh yeah.
They kind of downplay it, but the guy knows the science.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Renee, you mentioned, and before I forget this because I might forget it. You mentioned that they're doing a Roger Corman Fantastic Four, right?
Documentary. Yeah, they're interviewing the actors and basically what happened because the movie was never intended to be released. They lied to everybody.
Along that same vein, remember we were going to mention this, but I think we forgot the Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. We have it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/NerdsOAC, and they're making a documentary about what happened to originally it was called The Death of Superman.
Yep.
The Tim Burton, Nicolas Cage Superman, because they investigated, they found footage of Nicolas Cage in the Superman suit that nobody believed existed. Special effects shots with Nicolas Cage flying and landing and all that. And the artwork for the movie actually looks pretty good, and they actually sat down with Tim Burton to talk about the Superman movie, which something he's never done. He's never talked about it. So, that's an interesting documentary. I'm looking forward to seeing that one.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I want to see that just to go ahead and find out what the hell happened. This actually happened, that they actually did talk about this and all that good and fun stuff.
Well, the sad thing about they were mentioning, they had a script, they had a director, they had a star, and me and Kelly talked about this when it comes to the Superman movie. I mean, the He-Man movie. Once you get a director and a star, it's pretty much going to happen. And with this one, I mean, they had costume fittings, they had set designs, they built sets.
I know what happened.
It just never shot. And usually when you spend that much money and all that, I mean, it's going to happen.
No. And this is common in the movie industry. Anytime a new executive takes over for a company in the movie industry, it's like a changing of the guard. It's like anything that's going in for a president that's right now. Whenever a new president comes in, whatever side or pet projects that president has goes ahead and loses all of its funding. And this happens in the movie industry all the time. Whatever projects were already in the works will go ahead and be canned. Sometimes you'll have entire films that have been finished producing, but just because it was a project from a former executive, it'll get canned and no one will ever see it. And it happens all the time in the movie industry.
Yeah, I know, but
that's probably what happened.
Well, the documentary shows that there was a lot. That it wasn't just one thing. It was a bunch. I mean, it was so close to getting made. And the set designs and all that. Now that I saw the set designs in the trailer, I'm kind of curious to see what the movie was going to be like.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's still a favorite. I mean, I would watch just the documentary. I mean, the story's interesting. Don't get me wrong. I want to find out more. But I think for me, the most interesting thing is the artwork and the costume design. The costumes are amazing. The sets were amazing. I mean, you look at them and, yeah, I mean, I kind of got a feeling I'd like to see it somewhere. You know what I mean? I'm wondering if maybe they took some of that for the Man of Steel. Maybe not exactly, but some of it, not exactly similar, but I could see what kind of ideas they might have gotten from it. Because you look at the costumes and you look at all the stuff they put into, like, making it. Just that is amazing. The sets, the costumes. They have one that, what did they do? It, like, kind of glowed in the dark or something, right?
No, it had, like, electronics underneath, and it was, like, gel, like a transparent gel suit, and the electronics, like, flashed, and it was a fully movable suit that lit up and sparked, and it was alive. I mean, that was the idea, that the suit was alive. All right, basically here, last movie, let's to wrap it up. The big summer hit, the big summer one was Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's #1 again. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have fallen, and Guardians of the Galaxy are like stepping on their turtle corpses, going ahead and are #1. I get to see Rocket Raccoon going ahead and saying, "Turtle soup tonight."
Okay.
I am Groot.
They watch the show and are crying, David.
Okay, but no, myself, we talked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles last week.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not going to go into. We're not going to go into them. But for me, I was saying it earlier before we got onto the show, and I think I was mentioning somewhat when we were starting this. Guardians of the Galaxy saved the movie industry's summer.
Yeah.
It destroyed all box office records for August ever. And August never, ever had a real big hit in August. The biggest one was, I think, 60 million, which this beat it by at least 30 more million. It within the first weekend grossed over, I think it was 98 million, just shy to 100 million.
Well,
and
I gotta say,
for August, it's unheard of.
I gotta say, I mean, this was, again, Marvel, raised the bar. Marvel keeps raising the bar on their movies. That's why we keep wanting them to do Fantastic Four and all the Spider-Man.
I mean, Marvel and Disney.
You're right, Marvel and Disney. I mean,
Because this is supposed to be a sleeper that no one was going to go to. I mean, they
Well, they brought
downplayed it
in
a
the switch
lot
hitter.
until they
Well,
started showing those previews in the theme parks that Renee had to go see 10 times.
well, I gotta get, Kelly is absolutely right. I mean, this movie was not expected to be a hit. I mean, they expected to do okay. They weren't even counting on a sequel.
No, and they announced the sequel only a week before its premiere because of how much hype it got. I mean, even
Well,
at San Diego Comic-Con, before the movie even came out, you seen kids dressed up as Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord.
Groot.
So they knew it was going to be a hit.
I gotta give credit. Those trailers were good. They really
were.
got solid trailers for that. And again, the soundtrack is so good. It's #1 right now in the Billboard charts. Or it was. I don't know if I'm not up to date on music, but I did read that it hit #1 on Billboard charts recently. And,
Well, I know it's hard to find the CD for the Cars because they keep selling out of them.
Well, I'm going to tell you what they were brilliant at. And we've said it before. New franchises have a problem. They have to go ahead and show the origin stories. And in this one, they didn't have to as much. One of the biggest problems is that you have to get people introduced to the characters. They didn't have to. The commercials introduced us to each and individual character and grabbed our attention and got us hooked before the movie even came out. Now, as for the beginning of this movie, I mean, I think the introduction of Star-Lord, bar the whole bit with the kid in the very beginning, him going ahead and investigating this ruins and doing it to a hit, I mean, to a song that was forgotten even 30 years ago, and all of a sudden, here he's going ahead and taking a rat and singing to it. I mean, it automatically dragged you in. It was, I would say, a perfect storm.
Well, let me tell you,
gelled.
that was the scene that they showed at Disney.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That was the. They didn't show him as a kid in the '80s and all that. They just showed the scene of him walking in that temple and all that, and that was enough to get people excited. People were excited at Disneyland for that part. When the part ended, everybody's like, "Oh," they wanted to see the whole movie after that. But I think overall, they did make. What they did is that they made Star-Lord likable. They knew a formula. They knew if you liked the protagonist, if you liked him, you're going to follow him. And you're going to care about him, and you get invested in him, and that's what they did. You liked this guy. And
but you liked Rocket and Groot even more.
Yeah, but I'm saying the actor, Chris Pratt, he's a likable guy. You get like nice guy vibes out of him. Yeah. And they were smart. They're like, this is Peter Quill, and everybody else fell in line. And yeah, people fell in love with Rocket Raccoon. He's cuddly. Groot is funny. Everybody has their moments. And overall, I have to say, it was a solid movie. It deserved all the praise it deserves. And of course, when it comes out on DVD, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
I disagree. I mean, I thought the movie was okay, and they keep saying it's one of the best.
That's the only one.
Yeah. Well, I disagree. I mean, I like Captain America way more, Winter Soldier way more than this movie. And I liked it for what it was. The storyline was a lot more solid for me. This movie had moments. It was funny, but it's not the same kind of movie. You know what I mean? For me, in my opinion, this movie is good if you have kids. If you want to take kids to see this movie, yeah, this movie's for you. If you want the movie that's going to be a little bit more adult-oriented, Winter Soldier's for you.
I disagree.
That were a little more complicated.
I'm going to tell you why I disagree. No. I'll tell you why I disagree. Because this did something that most comic book movies don't do. Adults, and when I mean adults, I mean people of 30 years or more, are flocking to this film. which they usually stay away as more from the comic book films. This one brought them in, and they enjoyed it. It's not just kids that are enjoying it. In fact, I'm finding that the teenagers actually didn't go to the film as much as our generation did.
I disagree with you there simply because it didn't have Robert Redford, man. If you're going to see the movie...
Oh, come on.
I mean,
Well,
I
let me have
actually agree
Robert
with
Redford.
David.
Okay?
I mean, I've seen the film several times, and there's very few kids there. They're wanting to go to the other films. It's the parents that are going back to the Guardians. In fact,
Yeah,
weekend when I went with my niece, because she wanted to see Turtles, I saw so many parents saying, 2 tickets for the Turtles, gave them to the kids and said, I want Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'll tell you this. Another way of going ahead and proving how the staying power of this is all of the kids went to see the Turtles. And Guardians of the Galaxy at first fell to second place. And for 2 weeks it was in second place because all the kids were going to the Turtles. But here it is, 3 weeks later, and Guardians of the Galaxy is back to number 1, and the Turtles is falling fast.
One, you have to acknowledge that, Chino. It's unprecedented that a movie that has been released already for a month, that fell to number 2 for a couple of weeks, bounced back to number 1. There is a testament.
No, I'd have to
Okay, never mind. Okay, there is no testament. It happens all the time.
Look, let me ask you this. All right, let me finish. All right, let me ask you this. They're competing
Don't
against...
focus on yourself.
They're
Speak to the masses.
All right, let's talk about the masses. That's what I'm saying. They're competing against the Ninja Turtles. That is a terrible movie, man. Okay?
But
So
how
you're
many times has it happened? Tell me how many times that has happened.
No.
Dude,
Iron Man 3.
I've never seen a movie take on a terrible movie and then make number 1 again. I'm sure it's happened. I just
Iron
can't
Man
think
3.
Iron Man 3's come back?
No,
no,
but
it did not.
we got the fact that Iron Man 3 made box office hits the first time it came out, but then when people that really wanted to watch it and understood what Iron Man was and understood what a turd it was, they said, no, we don't like this.
No, but again, that was my point. How many times has a movie fell and then come back up?
This is
It's
true.
very rare.
Very rare.
And again, you're not taking into account how bad Ninja Turtles was. That's the only
It
company.
doesn't matter.
I disagree
No,
with
most of the
you there.
times the trend is that when a movie goes down, it starts going down.
Okay.
It goes on a slope.
What I'm saying, Chino, you were stating the only reason
And this is
film
going to
worked.
become an argument that's going to last for years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're not going to
the
convince
only
them.
You're not
reason-
going to convince each other.
No, I know, but this is going to be my final say. You are saying that the only reason that this succeeded was that the kids wanted to go. But the thing is this. The statistics say different. It was the adults that went to this film. The kids did not go as much as the adults. And the one that the kids were going to fell. This one stayed up. It is showing that it did not go ahead and, it's not because the kids dragged the parents to this film that it was a success. It showed that it was because it really it hit to such a broad spectrum that even my mother, who's in her 70s, enjoyed the film.
Now, here's something I want to point out. Now, again, you brought up, well, Captain America is a better film. Well, you're right. But it's, Star Wars is a better film. Nobody's saying it's the greatest film ever made, but it's a pretty damn good movie. And, not to you, obviously.
No. I mean, what I get on when they're talking about the movies is they're saying that this is the best Marvel movie to date, and I don't agree with that. That's
Robert Downey Jr. agrees with that statement.
Yeah, well, that's Robert Downey Jr. He works for the company. Of course he's gonna say that, man. But, for me, as a viewer, as a fan of Marvel movies, I like Captain America more than I did this.
Well,
Okay.
technically, I will side
no.
with you. I'm
I
siding
will
with
go
you.
ahead and side with you. You
Yeah.
like Captain America. And for me, Captain America was great. But the
Yeah.
thing is that there were times in Captain America I almost fell asleep. I never once, in the 3 times that I've seen, and here, I saw Captain America. I didn't feel an urge to go back or bring other people to go see Captain America. I did feel an urge, and I felt a longing to go back again and again to see this film.
Well, let
I haven't
me
had
cut in here. Let me cut in here.
What until I say?
I side with Chino. Again, we got to wrap things up. We're going to wrap things up. I side that, I enjoyed Captain America. I gave that movie a perfect score. I gave it an A+. I loved it. But I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not renouncing one over the other, I love Star Wars. I'm going to get all of them on DVD. So, you saying, well, I prefer Captain America. Well, I prefer that too, but I still love Guardians of the Galaxy. It's awesome. You like more than what, you're free to like everything you like.
And it's an undeniable fact, what I had said before, that without Guardian of the Galaxy, this summer would have been the worst summer in almost 15 to 20 years.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So,
I would probably agree with David. If I hadn't seen Captain America, we're right. It's not a summer movie. I agree with you.
Yeah, that's a spring movie.
Come out. I would agree with you. I would say yeah.
Beat the dead horse deader. Beat the dead horse deader. Come on, beat the dead horse
Right
deader.
now, we have to see.
I would agree with him. This is the best movie of the summer. I side with David on this one. I agree with him there. Given the competition, yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy was the best movie for the summer with those choices. Yeah.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see. It now has to stand the test of time.
It is already.
Kelly's right. Kelly's right. And
that's
just
going to leave one thing I do want to say, because I don't know if you guys brought it up when I was having internet problems, but we do have to give a shout out to Ghostbusters because today marks 30 years.
I love
when it
that.
was released.
Yes. Talking
You're
about
absolutely
test
right.
time.
yeah, that.
40th anniversary for Hello Kitty.
Well, I'd rather
This
look at
weekend
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
This weekend only, they are releasing 1 and 2 back in the theaters. In fact, I'm going to the midnight showing.
I'll go to 1, not 2.
Yeah, I'll go to 1. But yeah, Kelly's right. Speaking of movies that stand the test of time, it's awesome. Ghostbusters is one of my favorites, and I think that one is actually, if we were back in 1985 and grading it and all that, I have to say I would have given that movie a solid A+.
I remember going to the sneak preview. Oh boy, that was great.
I wanted to work as a Ghostbusters and I was a kid after that.
Everybody, all the kids at that time did.
Dude, they grew up. That's why they're cosplaying as Ghostbusters now.
And I think I looked at college manual to see if they had paranormal classes.
No, but I think they offer
you would-
it as now a cosplay masters program, because some of those cosplayers with their ectopacks, I can't believe.
I would
what?
say this. You would be the one they were experimenting on.
You know what? If we all go, if we all do a convention together and all that, we have to dress up like Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's really tough.
We've
It takes
been
an
saying that for
electrical
years.
degree to do it.
Well, no, I talked to the ghost. We have the El Paso Ghostbusters, and we have a new. It's called Young Ghostbusters, which is an acronym for something, and or Youth Ghostbusters. I met them the other day. They put a lot of effort and a lot of money into those costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. When you build a cosplay costume, it's a labor of love. That I can testify to.
And I wish I got a proton pack, or I wish I could afford a proton pack, but wow, they're
You
expensive.
can't even buy them. You have to make them. Mattel keeps hinting that someday they might make one with selling the wand and everything else that goes with it.
I want to be able to reproduce it, but you know what? To reproduce it, you got to look at a whole bunch of stuff. Also, the lighting and everything else, and the materials. That alone, I mean, I would.
That's
I
why I
would
said
break
it.
my back.
Cosplay is always a labor of love. You don't
Yeah.
recoup anything,
Well,
even
I
for
gotta
clinic.
say, Ghostbusters really had an influence on me. You know, I mean, I was like Chino too. I wanted to be a Ghostbuster. You know, I wanted,
Oh yeah.
I wanted the
But I mean,
costume. I wanted all that.
I
but
even watched the real Ghostbusters on TV.
looking at 1983 and 1984, especially 1984, you had some excellent movies that have stood the test of time. I mean, you have in the same time, you have Gremlins.
Yep.
Came out the same time frame. You had the best Star Trek ever, which was Wrath of Khan. You had excellent films.
Yeah, and again, thank you. We're out of time. We went a little bit over. Gotta
Little.
apologize. Yeah, way over. But this was our summer recap show. Again, thank you for joining us and all that. I hope you enjoy your show. You can catch us next week at the Las Cruces Comic Con. Kelly, where are you going to be at?
I will be September 13th at Session House for the Masters Bash party, and then September 27th and 28th at RetroCon in Pennsylvania.
All right, and hopefully we can have a recap of that, and we'll talk more about that on our next show. Cats, go ahead, Gino.
I'll mention the Sun City Sci-Fi, and that's it. That'll be our show.
Yeah, the Sun City. Yeah, I was getting to it. Sun City Sci-Fi. Again, we did a great interview with Ian at the Adventure Zone. You guys should have been there. It was a lot of fun. Huge, gigantic Wookiee was there, and again, met Ghostbusters, the El Paso cosplay girls, and we talked to Ian about his Kickstarter program. Hopefully, you can support that. And the Sun City Sci-Fi is going to have their expo in October. Daniel Logan is going to be the headliner for that, and of course he was young Boba Fett. We met him, we interviewed with him. He's a super awesome guy, and we hanged out with him. My daughter got a little too chummy with him, so I got to keep an eye on that. And then a lot of fun with that. But next week we're going to be at the Las Cruces Comic Con. You can come say hi to us. We got a booth there. We got free souvenir photos for you guys to take and join our cast. And any comments, anything you want to say, feel free. Hey, talk to us. We're going to have a live show Saturday. So catch us, and we'll see you next week.
See you there.